Tonight's little ASMR short story is called The Memory Garden. Just relax and listen. There are places in the world that cannot be found on any map. You don't stumble upon them unless you need them, unless something deep inside you calls out and the world gently answers. I found such a place long ago when I wasn't even looking. Just walking quietly, almost thoughtlessly, through the trees at the end of an evening. It was the kind of evening where the light softens everything, where even your footsteps seem unsure if they want to disturb the hush. I had no destination, only thoughts and the weight of something unspoken. The path wasn't marked. I don't remember turning off the main trail, but suddenly the forest gave way, and I found myself at the edge of a low stone wall. Inside it was a garden, unlike any I'd seen before. The air smelled like lavender and old books. The garden was wild, but not unkind. Tangles of ivy climbing arched gates, moonflowers blooming in the fading light, and little mossy signs with no words. There was a small fountain in the center, and beside it a wooden bench that looked as though it had waited a long time for someone to sit. I did, and the moment I did, something changed. The garden shimmered, just a little bit, and then I heard a voice, not out loud, but in that quiet place behind your thoughts. You may visit one memory tonight. I looked around, unsure who had spoken, or if I'd imagined it. But then I saw them. The blooms. Each flower in that garden was a memory. Some pulsed softly with golden light. Others swayed even though the air was still. A few were barely blooming at all, tucked shyly beneath their leaves, waiting. I stood and stepped toward the nearest one. The petals felt warm, as if they remembered being held. I brushed one gently with my fingertips, and the memory bloomed before me. I was in a kitchen, familiar, though not mine. A kettle on the stove, a cat curled on a windowsill, and the sound of quiet humming. A woman with gentle hands poured tea into mismatched cups. She looked at me and smiled, as if I'd just come back from somewhere far away. It was a moment, just one, but full of love. And just like that, it faded. I was back in the garden, hand still on the flower, heart a little fuller than before. There were hundreds of blooms, maybe thousands. Some belonged to me, I think, but others were waiting to be seen, to be remembered. I wondered. Each memory was different. A child's laughter in a field of tall grass, rain on a rooftop as two people danced indoors, a handwritten letter read beneath a tree, a hand reaching out and being held. Each one left something behind in me, a softness, a warmth, a longing, maybe but not an ache. I don't know how long I stayed. Time in the garden didn't pass like it does elsewhere. When I finally turned to leave, the same voice came again. You may return when your heart needs remembering. I smiled, and I whispered thank you to the air, to the flowers, to the quiet. As I stepped back through the archway, I knew the path would disappear. It always does. But the memory would stay. Sometimes, when the world feels too heavy, I still feel that garden calling. I close my eyes, and there, in the stillness, I find a bloom waiting just for me. You can visit too. Just listen. It knows the way. Thank you so much.